Welcome to SP News and Knowledge. Today, we delve into the intriguing tale of Bepin Choudhury's Lapse of Memory, a narrative that intertwines reality and fantasy, challenging our perception of the past. So, buckle up for a journey into the labyrinth of a man's mind, where truth and illusion blur. The story awaits. No time to delay. Let's embark on this captivating exploration now.
Imagine being approached by a stranger who seems to know a lot about you, even experiences you don't remember. Meet Bepin Choudhury, or Bepin Babu, as he is affectionately known. A solitary figure, Bepin Babu is a man of few words but many books. He spends his Mondays at Kalicharan's, a quaint bookstore, meticulously selecting reading material to last him the week. With no close friends and a distaste for idle chatter, his books are his chosen companions. One Monday, as Bepin Babu was engrossed in the familiar routine of sifting through the week's potential reads, he was interrupted. A man, Parimal Ghosh, introduced himself, speaking as if he knew Bepin Babu intimately. He claimed to have met him in 58 in Ranchi, a place Bepin Babu was sure he had never set foot in. Despite his longing to see Ranchi, Bepin Babu had never managed to make the trip. He politely informed Parimal Ghosh of his mistake, but the man was insistent. He knew too much about Bepin Babu, too many details, too many facts. It was unsettling, to say the least. Bepin Babu, a hard-working individual with a responsible position in a reputable firm, found it hard to believe that he could forget such a significant event in his life. A trip to Ranchi, taken 6 or 7 years ago, how could he not recall such a thing? Despite his best efforts, Bepin Babu couldn't shake off the strange encounter. He considered reaching out to his friend Dinesh Mukherjee, who Parimal Ghosh had claimed was also on that mysterious trip. But the fear of embarrassment held him back. That night, as he lay in bed with a fresh book, his mind kept wandering back to the strange encounter. The thought of having forgotten such a significant event in his life was deeply unsettling. It was a mystery he couldn't solve, a puzzle that didn't fit. And so, Bepin Babu was left with a mystery he couldn't solve. Bepin Babu tried to dismiss the strange encounter, but doubt has a way of creeping in. Despite his best efforts to ignore it, the seeds of uncertainty had been sown in Bepin Babu's mind. The man's detailed accounts of a trip that Bepin Babu had no memory of kept gnawing at him like a relentless mouse. The more he tried to ignore it, the louder the echo of the man's words became. A hard-working man, Bepin Babu was known for his sharp mind and impeccable memory. But this unexpected incident made him question his own reliability. Could he have really forgotten such a significant event? He had always wanted to visit Ranchi, and if he had indeed made that trip, why could he not recall it? In an attempt to clear his doubts, he decided to reach out to his friend Dinesh Mukherjee. Dinesh was said to have been on that trip, but reaching out was not an easy step. What if Dinesh confirmed the trip? The thought of confronting a forgotten memory was daunting, but not knowing was worse. So he called, and to his disbelief, Dinesh confirmed the trip to Ranchi in October of 58. The confirmation was like a punch to his gut. The world around Bepin Babu seemed to swirl as he grappled with this revelation. The worry started to take a toll on him. His usual composed demeanor was replaced with a look of constant stress. He found it hard to focus on his work, his mind constantly drifting towards the mysterious trip. His doubts were further confirmed when Chunilal, an old friend, also remembered the Ranchi trip. Chunilal even claimed to have booked the tickets. The walls of certainty that Bepin Babu had built around himself were slowly crumbling. Bepin Babu was left with no choice but to accept the possibility of a memory lapse. The idea was terrifying, but accepting it was the first step towards finding a solution. And that's exactly what Bepin Babu decided to do. He was not one to shy away from a problem, and he certainly wasn't going to start now. Desperate for answers, Bepin Babu decided to seek medical help. He turned to Dr. Chanda, a well-respected physician known for his knowledge and experience. Bepin Babu laid out his predicament before the doctor, explaining the strange encounter with a man who insisted they had met in Ranchi, a place Bepin Babu was certain he had never visited. His friends corroborating the story only deepened the mystery. Bepin Babu found himself questioning his own memory, a feeling that was both disconcerting and deeply unsettling. Dr. Chanda listened intently, his brow furrowed in thought. This was a case unlike any he had encountered before. A man forgetting an entire trip? It was puzzling, to say the least. The doctor knew that memory lapses could occur, but the extent of Bepin Babu's apparent forgetfulness was baffling. He pondered over the situation, trying to make sense of this puzzle. After much deliberation, Dr. Chanda had a suggestion. He proposed that Bepin Babu revisit Ranchi. Perhaps being in the place where these alleged events had occurred might trigger some dormant memories. It was a long shot, but it was the best course of action they had. Bepin Babu was hesitant. The idea of visiting a place he couldn't remember was daunting. But he was desperate for answers, desperate to regain control over his own mind. With a deep breath, Bepin Babu agreed to the doctor's suggestion. He would go to Ranchi. He would confront this mystery head-on and hopefully find the answers he so desperately sought. It was a daunting task, but Bepin Babu was resolute. He was determined to unravel this mystery, to reclaim his memories, and to find peace once again. With a heavy heart, Bepin Babu booked a ticket to Ranchi, hoping it would bring back his lost memories. This was his only hope, his final chance to unravel the mystery that had turned his life upside down. As he prepared for the journey, Bepin Babu couldn't help but feel a sense of trepidation. Little did he know, this trip would change his life in ways he could never have anticipated. Bepin Babu stepped off the train in Ranchi, a place he did not remember ever visiting. The air of Ranchi filled Bepin Babu's lungs as he took his first step out of the train. His eyes scanned the landscape, expecting a jolt of recognition that never came. Every face was unfamiliar, every street unknown. The city seemed to be a stranger to him, its essence completely alien. Despite the vivid descriptions from Parimal Ghosh and Dinesh Mukherjee, nothing about Ranchi stirred any memories within him. As he ventured further into the city, he hoped to find some semblance of familiarity. He visited the places they had mentioned, the landmarks they claimed he had once admired, but each sight only deepened his confusion. He found himself standing before the Choudhury Falls, a sight he was supposed to remember. The cascading water was magnificent, yet it echoed no past experiences, no shared laughter or captured moments. It was as if he was seeing it for the first time. While the enchanting beauty of the falls captivated him, an unexpected misstep led to a tumble. His world blurred as he fell, the sound of rushing water ringing in his ears. The fall left him unconscious, his body found by two Gujarati gentlemen who had come to picnic with a group. When he awoke, he was overwhelmed by a sense of hopelessness. He realized he had never been to Ranchi before. Every claim, every detail about his supposed visit was a fabrication. His mind was not betraying him, but the people he considered friends were. This realization was more painful than the physical pain from his fall. With a heavy heart, he embarked on his return journey to Calcutta. The city that was supposed to hold his forgotten memories now bore the weight of his newfound despair. He left Ranchi not with a sense of closure, but with a bitter taste of betrayal and defeat. Bepin Babu returned to Calcutta feeling hopeless and defeated. Back home, Bepin Babu was in for a shock. A letter lay on his desk, the ink still fresh, the handwriting familiar. It was from Chunilal, his old friend. As Bepin Babu began to read, Chunilal's words pierced through the veil of confusion that had shrouded his mind. The entire episode, the encounter at Kalicharan's, the persistent memories of a trip he never undertook, it all had been a meticulously orchestrated plot. A plot designed by Chunilal himself. Chunilal's letter laid it all bare. The pain of an old friend, left out in the cold, unacknowledged, ignored. Bepin Babu's indifference had stung Chunilal, and so he had decided to weave a web of deceit to punish him. He had planted the seeds of doubt about Bepin Babu's own memory, leading him on a wild goose chase that culminated in an agonizing trip to Ranchi. Bepin Babu sat still, his mind reeling. He had been so engrossed in his work that he had failed to notice the plight of his old friend, and now he had paid a heavy price for his indifference. But amidst the shock, there was a sense of relief. His memory was intact. He had not forgotten. He had been deceived. And with this realization, the last vestiges of doubt dissolved. He reached out to his doctor, sharing the peculiar turn of events. The doctor was amazed. He had seen many cases, but none quite like this. "A unique case indeed," he exclaimed. "One of deception and a forgotten friendship." In the end, Bepin Babu found himself reflecting on the strange twist of fate. His friend had deceived him, but in doing so, had reminded him of the value of friendship. The deceit had been painful, but it had also been a wake-up call. So it turned out Bepin Babu's memory was never at fault. It was a unique case indeed, one of deception and a forgotten friendship.